Morning, everybody. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and this is our home yoga practice live on a Friday. So come on in for the regular crew. Feel free to say good morning, type in, say what's going on, and I will kind of introduce us to my thoughts for today. I think we're going to continue with our theme of being connected. Right? It feels like, this week is a great time to maybe think about new starts, new beginnings, and connection. And yoga means to connect, so it's a nice little happy party there. But connecting not only on our physical being, but maybe taking that out with us as a meditation, a mantra, an affirmation when we're interacting with one another. Do I still believe that the light in me is the same as the light in you when you cut me off in traffic? Am I treating you as though we're collaborating when we disagree? So it's a great way to kind of take your yoga off your mat and into the world, and we break some things down into little bits that we can be doing at home. So please, come on back and on demand. If you can't hit this live, I'm often getting messages from people who are saying, oh man, I missed it. Well, you never have to miss it. If you're subscribing onto our YouTube channel, if you're following us on our Facebook, you can go to our playlists, pick any class that you like, whether it's the home yoga practice, basics, empower. You can practice with us. Send me an email, send me a message, write a comment. Let me know you have any questions about your practice or even any suggestions about how you want to see a class go in the future. Let's make this a connective, integrative process as well. Alrighty, so we're going to get started today. Why don't we stay standing? And like I said, feel free, I can see my monitor here so I can see when people make a comment, but we'll get started in a standing position. Stand any way that you like. Have a little bit of space clear for yourself. You don't have to build yourself your own yoga spa retreat at home, although I mean that would be sweet. And if you do have a yoga spa retreat, we can do a recording on location. Just disinfect, mask it up, boom. So hit me up. All right, let's go up to standing. And Fridays I get a little sillier, a little more free and fun because it's Friday. Why not? So let's come into standing in our feet. Maybe close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. Just to begin to bring our attention within. It doesn't have to mean any greater spiritual woo-woo than that. Just turning off the outside noise, turning off the outer distractions, even if that distraction is just dust bunny or something is out of order. Bringing that attention into standing in your bones, your flesh, your skin. And today I felt like we would continue to work on binding, and that's holding maybe hands together in different positions, hands to feet together in different positions, to remind us about connecting. And how do we connect? Do we connect in an aggressive manner? Do we connect? Find your standing space, and I'm going to mute this and get my dog to hush. Nothing like a delivery. Alrighty. So I was talking about binds. We will do binds and twisting to help us look at how we're connected to how we reach and connect inside of ourselves, and maybe it'll guide us into how we connect with one another. All right, so let's start to just let the arms go. Bringing in a carefree feeling. Notice any area of the body that is feeling resistant to being carefree. And how do we encourage it to loosen up? How do we give it the trust? How do we let go of control? Because maybe if we let go of trying to control how far we twist from side to side, there might be greater ease. Do we know what ease feels like? Let's not assume anything when we arrive on our mat. We come to our mat to be kind of a tabula rasa, so to speak. Now feel your feet as you're going and your legs, and try not to keep them so stiff as to create any strain when you're revolving. Allow this stimulation in the gut, maybe loosening anything that we're holding tight in our gut. Literally, that we need to release from our digestion, or an emotion we're holding tight in our gut. And then we'll come to center. Let's breathe in and reach and find that interlace. How did we thread? Did it come together easily? Did we yank into it, force ourselves into it? Breath in, exhale, twist. What's really moving? Do we lead with our neck? Do we need to see where we're going? Are we willing to move in our root, some of our base beliefs, and come to center and twist? So we can do something very simple at home. You can weave poses together, or you can just do a repeat of one kind of pose like this. Breath in, push the arms up. How much can we reach? How much does the bind help us? Good. And release. Let's forward fold. Ooh, maybe just let the upper body sway. You can hold opposite elbows. Feel what it feels like when you bring the arms together. Noticing how that connection is helping maybe make things feel a little easier. Maybe it makes things a little harder. And then letting the arms go, letting them drag. Notice when those arms are not interconnected, how does this feel? How does your spine feel? Where does your mind go? Can your mind be at rest, or is it distracted by the arms? And then let's round the spine up, coming up to standing. And breathe in and lift, and this time we won't bind. How do the arms feel? The shoulder area feel? The wrists and the fingers? What's different when they're not interlocked and dependent upon one another? And revolve. Let's go ahead and open those arms out, because when we let that free, we can reach. But what's connected in between the shoulder blades? How does the left arm affect the right arm? Because you can feel how they're connected in between the shoulder blades. And come on back up. Remember, we're still just learning and feeling. What does freedom feel like? What does connection feel like? And, we were twisting with the arms up. And revolving, pulling shoulders away. Feel the space in the front of you, wishing to be open and free. Not in control. And coming back up. And letting it go. Breathe in. Breathe out. I'm going to turn sideways so we can see. Let's rock forward and back in those feet. See if you can keep the feet flat, so keep all the toes down. But could we shift forward and back? And how do we feel? How does that upper body feel as the bottom body is doing what it's doing? How are they related to one another? What's super rigid and what's going with the flow? Where do they meet each other in the middle? How about feeling your belly and your waist, the middle area, the joining area? And we'll roll the spine up. Good. I'm going to open the arms out wide and take the right arm across and hook. Now I'm going to stay here and step my left leg back foot flat. So I'm going to take as many steps as it takes and maybe widen the step out. And feeling what it feels like to have moved in that way while maintaining this connection. What about this connection made that movement easier, more difficult, or just unfamiliar? Breath in. Exhale, twist to the right. To the left. Back to center. I'm going to step this left foot up. Release the arms, breathing in, and come on forward. Oh, let go. Maybe shifting forward and back. So we're developing our awareness muscles. What are we aware of in our physical body? In our joints, our flesh, our digestion, our respiration. And let's roll the spine up. Take your time. Notice all of the muscles up and down the spinal column. And let's lengthen up and out wide once again. I'm going to take the left arm across, hooking under that one. And I'm going to step my right leg back. I think I'm doing this kind of right. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'm going to try to not reverse my order anymore. So just so you know, this is actually my right arm across. My left arm is hooked under. My left leg is forward. My right leg is back. And sitting upright. And what do I get to feel in the back of the shoulders and the waist? Remember, I'm striving for ease, and we're also just inspecting and reviewing. What am I aware of? And if I'm feeling something, as I am, in my right hip, how would I describe it? Around the groin, around the side, down the front of the thigh. How would you describe it? Sharp, long, what is going on? And we develop these awareness muscles, the ability to see ourselves from the inside out of what is going on. Breathe in, and I'm going to step the right foot up, free those arms, and lift, looking up. Notice how your eyes help you with the way you feel about this space in your body. And forward fold. Notice how your breath is helping you. I'll bring my hands down and step back to plank. Now you could be at hands and knees plank. Be honest about what you can sustain, not what you can prove. And we'll lower ourselves down to the belly, lengthen the legs back, breathe in, and lift the chest. Now it's very easy to just feel the arms doing this work. Lower it down. Can you ask your legs to press into the floor as well as the arms, and just feel that difference? Breathe in, lifting, keeping the hips down, letting the spine and the belly be flexible, be watery, and lower it down. Let's feel that relationship between the arms and the legs, giving us stability and pressure, while we let the wiry snake part of the spine do snake wiry things. Breathe in and breathe out. And let's continue and just start to notice what's doing more work. How connected are they? Are the legs doing more work than the arms, or are they collaborating? Are they amplifying one another, or are they fighting against one another? How about the muscles in your spine and your belly? Are they fighting, or are they yielding? Breathe. And lower. Let's press our way up to hands and knees, and then sink back for child's pose. You could have your knees wide for child's pose, or together. You could bring a block down to place your head on. Maybe rest your head on your wrists. Feel your connection with the earth. Let your mat and the floor hold you. Feel your heartbeat and know that it's always there. Of course, right? When we say of course, but how aware are you of your heartbeat throughout the day, in your conversations? How do you feel when you can actually spend time hearing it and feeling it? Where does it take you? What does it make you remember about your being? And I'm going to lengthen the arms out. We'll start to find a little bit of a flow, kind of weaving together some of those bits. Breathing in. Tuck the toes, lift the butt up, downward facing dog. Maybe keep those knees bent. And maybe if this isn't a comfortable space for you, just walk up to the top of your mat. We're going to join you momentarily. Breathe in. And we'll make our way up. Take as many steps as you need. Half flat back. Breathe in, lifting the spine a little. Those knees can remain soft. Exhale, allowing your upper body to go. Rolling the spine up. What are we aware of? How did those legs help the spine find a more easy way of rolling up? And we'll lengthen, thread those fingers. They're rejoining for the first time. Flipping the palms, breathing in. Exhale, let's twist. What's changed now that the body is a little more familiar with this collaboration, this connection, this interreliance? Back to center and twist. Good. How about the lifting and the pressing down? Is one doing more than the other? Back to center. Maybe take the gaze up, pull the chest up, push the legs down, and release those arms as you fold. We'll do that sway again, feeling what it feels like to have those arms separated from one another and yet connected in the back of the shoulders. And then grabbing opposite elbows, finding that breath, releasing the arms, rolling the spine up. What are you enjoying about having the arms separated? What are you enjoying and learning when they are together? Let's breathe in and lengthen. Exhale, we're going to twist, pull the shoulder blades away. Does that offer you a more free space in the neck, or at least being aware of things moving? Inhale. Exhale, open. There does have to be a certain amount of trust and familiarity for new things to feel free, for new things to feel at ease. We just have to keep ourselves open to it and patient and breathing in, lifting. What's lifting in the upper body? What's rooting in the bottom body? How is your breath helping you? Notice your connection to feeling and being aware of the breath. And then exhale, coming forward. Now this time, if your hands are easily touching the floor, maybe let them walk back a bit. And while we're in this kind of upside down position, let's see if we can just flutter the lips and make a sound. Just being a little free, maybe a little crazy, just carefree. How about that? Shaking the head, yes or no. We're here to surrender and work together with the body, not clench around it. And we'll roll the spine up. Good. Let's reach the arms out wide. Remember, we're doing this sequence again. I'm going to truly cross the left arm across, wrapping the right arm either behind that shoulder or hooking. I'm going to step my left leg back. Now this time, I'm stepping it back after really lifting that knee up. I was just feeling out where I am. Okay, can I? Is my core, how's my belly helping that cause? Ooh, how does having this arm like this kind of make things a little challenging, a little new, a little unfamiliar? And step it back. Now, of course, if you need to take a few steps, that's great. You're learning more about yourself and about what you need in the moment. But can you test a new limit, a new boundary? Breath in and exhale, let's twist. What wants to move? How is the bind, the connection of that right arm and left arm giving you enough pressure point to revolve? Oops. And now I overdid it and I uprooted myself. So I've backed off, shoulders down, chest lifting. And then can I notice a space of freedom from this, within this interreliance? What feels freer in the body because of the bind, because of holding together? Good, and then I'm just going to release the arms, breathing in, bending that front knee, lifting, and I certainly feel more free in this torso now. And now I'm going to twist to the right. Ooh, and feel that whole difference after having had it with the clasp. Being able to stay open-hearted as I twist. Feeling those differences, becoming familiar in my body, what it feels like to be open and surrender and not in control and reliant. I'm going to bring the hands to prayer. Step this left leg up. Inhale. Lift, no strain. And forward fold. The time on our mat helps us learn and feel and collaborate within. In this very frame, in this very body that we have to live in on this earth. And then we get to reflect on how that relationship is going and take those lessons off the mat and just use it to help mirror how we're working with others. Rolling the spine out. Do we let things be with one another? Or do we feel the need to force and control? Open those arms out. I'm going to cross over now, this right arm across, hooking under. How do we interlock our arms together to collaborate? Or do we only really know the struggle? Where's that balance? Even right now, are you in a hurry? Are you tensing? Can you have ease in a bind? Okay, I'm going to lift my right foot. I'm going to see what the balance is on this side. And I'm okay, especially since I'm looking to the left too. Okay, if that actually didn't work out. So now I'm going to take my gaze to neutral and stop trying to be fancy. But it was an interesting experiment to notice that how my gaze is, what I'm looking at and toward, affected my ability to be stable within myself. Not perfect. I said stable. All right, now I'm going to step back. Maybe you're taking a few steps. Maybe you're taking a big, long step, and see how at ease, kind of chill could we be. Bending that left knee, lifting up through the waist. Ooh, how are my feet and my legs, my knees helping collaborate and connect into the cause? How much attention do I put into them? Now, if I feel stable in the legs, so meaning I don't feel like I'm about to fall over, I'm going to lift up and just feel the shoulders a little and twist. How much does the waist help me with the twist? How much does the bind help with the twist? Ooh, what does the stop point feel like? Does it feel like a solid, firm, rigid resistance? Is there some fluidity still in there? Ooh, and release. Good, I'm going to lift. And twist and feel this difference now. With the arms open, I'm still revolving. Does it feel more free? Does it feel more rigid? Different sections in between the shoulder blades and the front of the heart. How about the throat and the eyes? What did the bind get to teach me about opening? What does the opening get to teach me about coming together? And lifting, sinking, feel the hips, feel the body say, oh, I really needed this movement. I really needed to feel this open. I'm going to bring the hands down. I'm going to step back. I know I stepped up to the front the last time we did that sequence. And can I be okay with things not being exactly the same all the time? A little more fluid in my thinking. And I'm just going to lift the hips up and back. Down dog. Maybe pedaling the heels up and down. Trusting the support of the arms to let the legs get a little bit of some comfort, some consoling, some nurturing going on here. And we'll bring the knees down and come down for child's pose. And then what's different here? As I feel the connection that I have with the earth, the connection I have as a conscious being inside of a physical shell. How do I relate to this physical shell? What parts of this physical body do I not know? What parts did I think I knew and how they worked, and I'm learning, something new about it. And how do I carry that lesson off the mat with me? Things that I thought that I knew. And then a new event, a new incident occurs, and I go, oh wait, it isn't exactly the way I thought. How do I respond on the mat, and how does that help guide me when I'm off the mat? I'm going to come forward to hands and knees. And I'm going to step the right foot up. Tuck the back toes straight in the back leg. Feeling this lunge. It's a little longer than where we were in the Warrior One. Letting the hips sag. Trusting the support and the stability of the right foot and the right ankle. Doesn't feel like they have to do anything. It's this part of the left leg, for me at least, that's really feeling a little bit of stretch. I'm starting to feel a little bit in the low back here as I keep pulling the spine up. Now I'm going to spin this left foot flat. Now some of you are going to want to stay right here with this right elbow onto the right thigh. Okay, and bringing this left hand here, maybe taking this left hand around. I don't know if you can see, snaking my little fingers here around onto that thigh. Just see how far wrapped around does it want to go. That's good enough. Others of you may want to see about bringing this hand to the floor and revolving. Lastly, others of you may want to take this right arm and bend it behind and see if they can come in contact with the left hand. Now you may be able to get a strap to hold those hands together, but don't make that the objective. We still want ease. Ease no matter where we are, and if you're struggling to get those hands together and sacrificing ease for the sake of a look, no good. Gotta back that up. Except where we are. Can you feel the chest opening as you get the hands together? How is that grip helping open somewhere else? Good. I'm going to release the arms. Maybe work the arms, the shoulder. You could stretch it around, rotate that arm. Now I'm going to bring the hands down out in front of me and lift the right toes, spinning around. And let that upper body go. I'm going to rock forward and back. Hope that when I mean that, I mean forward, bringing the weight forward into the front of the feet, but keep the heels down. Feel your calf muscles, sides of your calves, sides of your ankles. Feel your upper body, your chest, your neck, in between the shoulder blades. Let go. Now I'm just going to walk my way around to do the other side, okay? So I'm going to spin on the left heel, coming around to the right toes, finding a lunge. Feeling out this side. Noticing I want to keep this knee over the heel. It really wanted to go further, so I'm going to ask the back leg to contribute, not just dump down into the left. Ask for space and length out of the back and feel that connection between the two of them. Are they relying upon one another? Are we aware of that? That one is lengthening and one is doing the rooting and the stabilizing. And maybe from side to side, their roles change as far as who's better at what. My right leg definitely does not want to lengthen, but when it's bent, it's ready to be my root. Can I accept that? I try to make them all like super duper match. And at the same time, if you're noticing, hey, you probably need to learn a new skill, you need to open yourself to a new range on that side, that's me talking to my right side. That could be it as well. All right, so starting here in our side angle with this right knee bent, just resting the forearm onto this knee. Remember we were maybe seeing about finding this wrap around, feeling the chest open. So now the chest gets to open because of the stability in the legs. Feeling this part of the chest opening as well. Or are we only straining in the actual joint itself? And we don't want any strain. Remember, ease. Free the toes. How is the security in your legs helping you feel connected to being able to move in the upper body? Now some of us bringing this left arm down, staying revolving. Now that's putting more pressure in the legs and the groin and the thighs. Maybe the revolving, if you're feeling strain in your neck, go ahead and let the gaze come down. And then fewer still of us are going to bend this elbow under that knee, and maybe the fingertips come together and rotate, the shoulders open, the chest open, front of the chest. Where's the breath? Where's the fight? Feel the heat. And what is the heat really meaning? Can you trust the legs to sink? Or are the legs saying, I can't support this anymore? I can support it for a little bit of time and I can return to it. Or do we just want it all now? Breathe, listen. I'm going to release the arms. Ooh. So feel free to make this a part of something that you're doing when you're working at home, and then take a break. Maybe have done some work standing, bringing the arms behind you, opening the shoulders first. These legs and the hips are definitely going to talk to us. I'm spinning around to neutral, coming forward again. Now some of you may notice that the very top of my head has found its way to the floor without me widening those legs. So that space and that length came from my spine being able to relax. I'm not saying it's a goal. I'm saying don't be surprised if one day, after you've been practicing this for a while with your patient breath, that your head comes to the floor. And it's kind of cool. Eyes open, just feeling the world and your existence in this shape. I mean, we're always walking around in the body with our head above our legs. So, thinking and being and feeling and talking in this shape definitely offers a new perspective, especially when it comes to trusting and knowing that I'm okay. Like, I'm just checking in, like, yeah, I'm fine. Nothing bad is happening. My calves are getting a little tired. My toes are getting a little tired. So I just wiggled. Even if your upper body's just hanging. How do you start to display trust in your physical body? Good. Now I'm going to bend the knees a bit, rolling that spine up. Walk the hands out in front. I'm going to bring a knee down and keep this. So I've brought my left knee down, keeping this right foot out to the side, toes forward. Come up. Haven't been in a parigraha in a little minute, and so already this hip is like, yeah, you haven't, and so I'm mad at you. So I'm going to try to bring these hips in, and I'm collaborating. I'm working it, massaging it until this part is a little less angry. And then I'm going to accept where it wants to be in its least angry point. Part of me really wants to kind of just jam it for the sake of camera and like, do the thing, show it neutral. But I don't want to like demonstrate me being mean to my body, and I'll pay for it later, right? So I'm trying to just bring as much authenticity and honesty into the practice as I can. So that's about where this hip wants to be today. And my practice now is to be kind to it and give it some forgiveness. Okay, that's where you are. Not, and tomorrow you better be better. No, just right now. And feel the compassion. Feel myself treating muscles with compassion. And feel it. Don't think it. And we'll breathe in and lift. And you know what? On this side, let's go ahead and practice this connection. Shoulders down. Reaching interlaced hand in hand with ourselves. Is the left arm bossing the right arm? Do we know? And okay, let's see about coming over to the right. Ooh, what in the lowest parts of us wants to cooperate and move? Or is it saying, I'm not giving up any ground, only the upper body's got to do it? Where's the breath? Are you just hanging on to be told it's over? So really bring in your intuition right now as to when is the best time for you to slowly come up and out. Are you learning about your limits? Are you learning about how to talk to areas of the body that are fighting and be kind when they're fighting? What do you say back? And I'm ready to come up, areas up in the ribs right here. We're starting to pinch and fight, okay? I'm going to stay with that twist and, with the interlace. Feeling the lifting and come forward. Now, there might be some of us, I'm going to come forward, feel it with the clasp, and now let the arms go. And notice how, different areas of the torso got to let go. But if that knee, your left knee, maybe put some added cushioning under that knee. Otherwise, if you can't do this on the knee, you could do this standing and just have one leg out to the side a bit so that you don't have a knee. Or we're going to come down onto our back in a moment. I'm going to walk our way around. So don't endure or put yourself through suffering. I'm going to push this left arm down beside this left knee. Maybe put a block here if that feels like it's too low. Hips forward. And reach. Now push the right foot into the floor. Feel your hips lengthening space in the front of your abdomen. Want to feel space in your abdomen. The abdomen is certainly an area where we are the least forgiving about how it looks and feels. And we have to start to be honest with ourselves about that internal dialogue. And maybe start to bring some of that compassion intentionally. And notice how that helps us treat ourselves and treat others. All right, I'm going to step the other leg out, just switching it out. Ooh, a lot of pressure on that knee. Let's get some blood flow there, Thurston. Okay. Ooh, now this side isn't as angry. I'm grateful. Working your way. And then just start to notice, how does this movement connect with just my inner being and my sense of calm? Is this a nice rocking, kind of comforting feeling? Or are we self-conscious? What's coming up? We've got to start to plug in and know, like, I don't do this very much, and this is the kind of thing that comes up for me. Maybe even the thought is just, why am I doing this? And look at that, like that's a resistance. That's a resistance to opening ourselves to learning about how we feel in this physical earth suit. Earth suit. All right, I'm gonna lift up. I'm gonna change the threading now. Can I interlace? Can I interlock and come hand in hand with myself in a new way? Almost feeling like it's a new hand. How would I treat it? Or would I be like, you're not holding my hand right? You know, kind of like being in 3rd grade when you have to hold hands with each other. All right, I'm going to flip the palms. Maybe it was more like 1st grade or 2nd grade. I don't know. I'm old. All right, breathe in. And let's see. What is the pace with which you're starting to move to come over? Did you rush? How connected were you with conversing with areas of the body? Ooh, this side is so yummy. And can I just acknowledge that and love it? Not look at what the other side wasn't. Just love anything that feels so good. Feel yourself being in a body that's able and moving and mobile and alive. Ooh, a huge part of our yogic practice to awaken ourselves to that in a true and honest way. And we get to twist and come forward. Oh, I think I'm going to stop here. That left leg said, basta. All right, so I'm bringing my hands. Feel your breath. What wants to move, what wants to release, what wants to fight. And now I'm going to walk the hands around to the other side. By all means, stay there. If that was a yum space for you, give yourself the time in the yum space. You know, how often do we really sit in yum spaces throughout any day? Does it only have to do with something with other people? Or can we just enjoy, savor, soak up yum spaces with ourselves? And it doesn't have to involve food. All right, hips forward. Feel the connection that the left leg provides, amplifying maybe a heightened awareness of some lengthening and stretching in this hip. Ooh. Choose what you want to do with that left arm. I like this lengthening, twisting, looking at the world from a different viewpoint. If I stay long enough, what do I learn? What starts to change? What starts to get easier? What starts to get harder? How does my mindset start to change? Do I lose patience? And I'll bring those hands down, out in front of us. And I'm going to bring this knee in. And just sit back on the heels. Again, this is for those who can put pressure on their shins and their knees. Otherwise, just go ahead and sit on your butt. If you're with us and you want to involve a twist, okay, so we've got a firm base on the earth and most of our body weight sinking down, so it's a solid base. Think of it like a paperweight, right? Like, woo, this is one of those really dense paperweights. But then the upper part of us is like a willow tree. And so let's take the advantage of that base and then see, what is the range of movement and fluidity, pliability we can have in this upper body? What does it afford us to feel differently within ourselves? And learning about, at least for me, it really reminds me of possibility. That I can lock myself into such a rigid thinking that I don't allow myself to feel new possibility of movement, of thought, of collaboration, of surrender, and how surrender can actually yield something really positive and beautiful and strengthening. And release. And then other side, when you're ready, maybe again you could have a block here, giving you a little bit more support. Breath in and twist. And noticing how I greet this other side, especially when it feels so different as mine does right here. And the limitation is so different because it's mostly in the upper chest. And I'm craving the freedom that I had on that other side. And I'm just trying to keep my mind on, be okay with what is. Am I even open to being aware of what is? Or am I judging it against what just happened? And now I just softened. That just made me, okay, let me be real here right now instead of push, demand. And now a vertebrae in my spine just went a little click, gave some yield so that some movement happened. Not saying that should be a goal, but it certainly let me know something happened. And let's come on down onto our feet. I'm just going to bring the legs in, knees wide, and grab a hold of those big toes and feel this as a connection point. And just lift one, lift the other, chest is up. Maybe we smile. Now, what's the least amount of muscular action you need to do with the arms? And just let the legs lift. And when we think about it this way, maybe we start to discover there's really not much that has to be moving. Can we trust that, it's simpler than I might have been doing? Good. Now I'm going to lift one and just see about lifting this other. Do you know what engaged to make that happen? Still letting the shoulders and the arms be loose, and we're connected to one another. I'm going to lift and lift. And come on down. Maybe both at the same time. And it's all right if you're sitting here going, It's okay, all right? We're all learning. We're figuring it out. A lot of trust, right? We might be worried about falling behind. We might be having a really loud inner voice that's going, no, I don't think I can do it. Maybe your big toes are complaining. My left one just did, because I wasn't gripping it in a way that it's happy with. I'm getting a little cramp in that toe, so I want to be nice to that foot. All right, now, what? Now, how is this arm helping that leg find a nice straight angle? Breathe, feeling connection. Don't worry about how super straight it is. There's a lot going on here, right? We're balancing, we're working some core, we're feeling like goofballs maybe. I hope that you have some junior members in your family who are like, hey, I want to do that with you. And do it with. And just feel what it's like to do it with connection. Now, not so fun. I'm just going to admit. Okay, change your perspective, Belinda. Okay. All right, I'm just going to accept it for what it is. I'm going to lift one without the connection. Without the connection. What already is like, there's a whole bunch of I don't like here. Because is it a little bit more work? Are you feeling your back? Are you feeling muscles in your thighs because you realize, they didn't have to work because the arm gave it connection. We're going to lift one. Ready? Here we go. What? Oh. Lift one. Other one. What? Oh, all of a sudden, do we want that connection? Are we wishing to hold on? And it's like, okay, well, we're just going to keep with this little experiment, this little appreciation experiment, right? Let's just call this a gratitude experiment. And the next time you see someone say, man, I'm going to ask for your help in the future. Okay, so here we go. One leg. Other leg. All right, done. Feet together. Maybe close the eyes, feel the breath. Feel the amount of working that it took to do it on our own versus the amount of work that it took to collaborate and hold together and bind and connect and use that connection to make something happen together. The yoga mat is just a palette for us to work out, different equations of connecting and working with one another, that greater whole. All right, I'm massaging the legs. Ooh. If you're new here, you'll often hear me, if you hit any of the on-demands, about the importance of giving ourselves deliberate touch. Deliberately massaging, touching, stroking, awakening not only our senses, feeling that tingle, that aliveness in your nervous system, but becoming familiar with, I like to touch this way, or I haven't felt this sensation in a while, and being okay with that level of expression with ourselves. All right, we'll breathe in and lift the spine and come forward. Now I'm just going to go ahead and let the arms hold either the shins or the ankles. I'm trying not to pull, but maybe you're using that for some leverage. Bringing that awareness of how much when we bring things together, it mirrors life off the mat, connecting and working with others, reaching out for help, accepting the help, collaborating. Or do we have to be in charge? Do we feel like we have to know what's about to come next? Because we feel like, we'll look silly or we look like we don't know. And how okay are we? with not knowing. Now I'm just going to come forward and let the arms go, okay? And just let the body weight sink. You can round the spine, but just observe what's starting to happen on its own. How much does that upper body want to release on its own? How connected are you in your mindset of what's going on inside of you? Of truly knowing whether we've let something go. I know I often am learning with amazement when I thought, oh, I let that go. And I learned, oh, I'm still tight over here. I'm still clenching over there. So clearly I wasn't as aware as I thought that I was. And can I be humble enough and honest enough and patient enough to come into new understanding and learning about what I don't know, even about myself and my own behaviors. That's hard. So hard. And bringing ourselves up. Ooh, I know it's like turned into like a yoga dharma class, right? But you know, as I'm thinking about all of this relationship to connectedness, it's like really, it's right there. It's like on point, you know. Alrighty, we're gonna come on down to our backs. But today, if you have a block, let me put these glasses on my face before I smash my glasses with one of these blocks, and I'll be sad. We're going to do a supported fish to start. And again, staying in that theme of connecting, and that connection meaning reliance, meaning support. So we're going to have a supported fish. If you don't have a block, get a blanket like that, roll it up like a yoga mat, roll it up, and you can bring that into the area that we're about to do. A towel. Some people are using foam rollers. It sounds a little extreme for me, but you know, whatever rocks your boat. I'm going to try to turn here a little so you can see it. Bringing the block, the top of this block, just beneath my shoulders. And then I'm going to lay my back onto the block, letting my head come in contact with the floor. Now I'm going to bring myself up and turn sideways, but I just wanted to show you that way so that you can feel about the proximity, the positioning of the block. Now you might want to have a pillow or something ready, especially in case your head doesn't touch the floor. You don't want it to freely dangle or anything like that. Support, feeling connected and supported with an open heart. So here we go. Now we're all going to have a different space of tolerance and endurance in this space. The chest, basically the heart is being held open. It's kind of like a heart hold up. Ha 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 ha. All right, I haven't been as goofy as I usually am on Friday, so give me that one, y'all. All right, see if you can let your arms release. Adjusting the neck so that it's accepting the free weight of the head. If you want, you could straighten your legs, or you can keep your legs bent. And try to release your body weight, surrender your body weight to the block. Feel the back of your heart in between your shoulder blades. Feel the front of your heart being arched open. Can we let the breath in, freely expanding in this exposed manner? Expanding while feeling exposed. Exposed in all that we don't know. Exposed in all that feels unsure and unfamiliar. Expanding with love and forgiveness. in this authentic, unguarded way. Now I said we're all going to have a different range, and maybe something is coming up for you right now, right? So if the belly doesn't want to relax, if there's anything super tensing or starting to cramp, don't yank yourself upright. Try to let yourself roll to a side into the fetal position. I'm going to stay for a moment because this is actually feeling good, and I want to feel expansion in the back of the ribs against the block as well. And that's easy for that area to feel compressed, so I'm trying to invite expansion in all four directions. I'm only feeling tight now when I breathe out. When I breathe out and when I'm releasing, so I'm knowing that, oh, I'm tensing in the utmost of surrender. Because being that vulnerable, shoot, man, that's hard. All right, so now I'm going to walk my feet in. I'm going to slowly just peel and roll myself over onto a fetal curl on the side. Letting that space in the upper back and chest ease out of that extreme open space. Shifting our reliance and our connection now from the block to the earth. Notice how cozy this feels. It's like, oh, I know I'm good here. Home base. That automatic trust level. And I'm going to gradually come upright. Move according to your own pace here, okay? Because bringing the head up, we were actually in an inversion with that head hanging down. So we can get woozy if we're yanking that head upright a little too swiftly. So come on back down, like if you're feeling that wooziness. Just, yeah, we're doing this at home, okay? So you don't have to keep up with me. Give yourself your time. That's one of the beauties and the joys of being home. It's your time for you. You know, once you start to really develop that home yoga practice, it can be really hard to go back into a group environment because you're like, wait, no, hold up. This is juicy over here. And so, yeah, finding out that balance of giving yourself your time, your practice. Maybe only going into group or into a private session with a teacher now and again for tune-ups on what it is you want to tune up, but eliminating that keeping up with the group, keeping up with the Joneses, leveling up to other people's standard, starting to let that go because we're coming within and we're connecting in on what truly is right for us. And when we're solid in that, we can be solid for others. All right, I'm going to lower myself down onto my back. Oh, and just feel that space right now. Whew, in between the shoulder blades, the flat of the spine. Nice and relaxed. I walk my feet in. So we're going to go from that supported fish to a supported bridge. As our final space today, as our final asana. Maybe just take a moment, eyes open. Check your jaw, your mouth, your tongue, your eyes, your ears. Trying to integrate in, checking in as an element of your practice now and again. Intersperse it. Where am I? In this space and time, in this second, as the earth is rotating at this point on its axis, as the earth is moving around the sun at this point. Now I've got my block. I'm going to lift my hips. I'm going to separate the feet about 4 or 5 inches apart. Try not to angle the toes outward, so have your feet in a nice neutral position. Asking the hips to rise. And I'm going to bring the block under me to its lowest height to start. And that might be where I end for today with our joint practice, but do know that you could flip it up another height. But I like to graduate up, starting from the lowest for a few breaths, and then flipping it up a little higher. So trying to position the block so that your sacrum, it's a triangular bony plate that is between your lowest lumbar, your lowest spinal vertebrae, and above your tailbone. And let that be the pressure of the weight sinking onto the block. Certainly not in the small of your back. And then if you can, allow the arms to fall away and surrender your weight to the block, to the lift of the block, being lifted and relying upon something else to do the lifting. And ask the muscles in your groin and your thighs to trust that. To trust that they don't have to do anything right now. Tell the muscles in the shoulders, in the rib cage, that they too don't need to do anything. Your belly. Let your flesh soften around your bones so that you feel your bones sinking heavy. If you're comfortable with this, you could straighten one leg. Now, if you have back pain, this can exacerbate back pain. So maybe you start to straighten the leg and your back says no, and you just slide that foot right on back and say, my bad, I'm listening. We're in this together. All right? You might find that one side is okay with the leg lengthened. And then notice what's trying to stretch and open and be exposed and expanding here. Expanding a little lower down in the physical body, a little lower down in our feelings, a little lower down in the things that we're confident about. Letting in new space, new flexibility, so that we're not gripping too hard. Opening ourselves to new possibility, new ways of working together, new ways of feeling. Let that ease come into your body. And then lastly, another way to be here is maybe seeing if the bottoms of the feet want to come together. Now this is extreme, okay? So this is like extreme expansion, extreme exposure, a lot of tension. So we've got to bring in a lot of compassion, a lot of forgiveness. Having the knees fall open. Having this groin area that's exposed. Now don't go here. Something's coming up for you that's saying no. Listen to that inner no. Maybe the inner no is really saying slow down. Or just a little bit and then close it and we can return. I have a few clearing breaths. I've brought my knees back up for myself. And I'm noticing how my low back just got alleviated of some strain there. I'm going to push down through the feet and start to lift the hips. I'm going to slide the block out and very slowly feel the connection of the feet on the earth, allowing the body to take its time to lower. Letting the low back sink into the mat. I'm going to bring one knee to the belly, other knee to the belly, and feel the arms gathering it. Remember that ease when we get to come in and rely on the limbs helping other limbs. And let the middle gets to find some ease when both ends are connected to one another. Maybe rock and roll. What else could let go in your groin, in your shoulders? What's still struggling, and can you send a nice compassionate prayer, a compassionate thought? And when I say struggling, it doesn't have to be like super duper strain. It could just be like this little stuttery tremble you feel somewhere. And just slowly, gently, softly roll to one side, allowing for a fetal position. Now, if you can gather your arms still behind the knees, go ahead. I can do it with one. My shoulder on the bottom doesn't really like it over here. And then really kind of cradle yourself in. You know, like when you were an infant, someone just cradled you. Even bringing this left arm around. And then try to let your bones go. In this seed pose. Coming into that very oldest form and shape that our genetics, our DNA, remember being as a fetus. Germinating your own seeds of your practice today. About connection, about interreliance, about mutual reliance, not any dominance or demand. Feel your heartbeat here. Slow down, get quiet enough to feel your heartbeat here. And let your heartbeat rock you, comfort you, nurture you. Into your own inner truth. Before we come up, scan your whole body. Where are there muscles still gripping? Can you let them go, even if you end up folding out or flopping out somewhere? Your jaw, your face, your neck, your throat, your shoulders. And let's gradually come on back up. Take your time. Find a way of sitting that's good for you. I know I've got several people who attend who have knee issues and hip issues, so if you want to sit on a pillow, if you want to have those legs straight, I just want to continue to vocalize that, and hopefully that's helpful for people who are new to their practice, that they can say, oh, I can do it that way. Okay, I'm going to cross my legs. I'm going to close with a mantra. Mana eva manushanayam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Mana eva manushanayam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Hi, Mustafa. One more time. Mana eva manushanayam karanam bandha moksha yoho. If you feel bound or stuck, you are bound to be stuck. But if you feel free, you are free. All that is light and kindness in me is the very same reflection and the very same source of light and kindness in you. And that's namaste. Namaste, everyone. Go forth and connect in ways that help you grow and expand and let go and challenge yourself to new fears and then the comfort and ease of knowing that you're being held. Thank you so much. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and this has been our home yoga practice live on Friday, the end of the inaugural week, and our theme this week has been connection and connecting to ourselves, and how this connection on the mat and into the world helps us connect with others in our behaviors, and just trying to bring in a little bit more of that grander theme, staying away from any sort of political expression, that it's not about that. It's about how am I shining and reflecting the best parts of me that I'm nourishing and growing, and how do I then reach out and rely upon others with that, asking for help, receiving help, coming together. Hey Claudia, my eyeballs can see ya. And this is Mustafa. I don't know, I think Puma has decided to leave. Moose is not really here to get love or give me love. This is him demanding. He's 16 this year. This is him demanding food, and more particularly canned food. And he is really sad that I am not adhering to my training that he has given me over all of these years. All right, everybody. It has been wonderful sharing practice with you all this morning. And come on back if you wish. Oh, my hat is all jacked up. Come on back if you wish for Yoga Basics tomorrow at 10, Empower Yoga at 11:30 Eastern Time on Saturdays right here on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. Thank you so much. Namaste.